Okay.
Let's
What's
do
up,
this.
Tom? How you been? It's
What's going on, buddy?
been a delightful week. You had a big stream. I was trying to go up against the big dog, compete a little bit. I got like 1/10 of your viewership. How did you feel having I don't know, you had like 6,000 peak at the
We peaked at 6,300, and mm, like average I think was 5,500.
so
It was
50.
pretty steady. It was pretty steady. I think Sasha did a great job.
Yes.
With holding with I brought Sasha as the color analyst, so I kind of hosted and he was the color analyst, which was kind of a reversal of like roles for me because I like to be the guy like. But he killed it. He did a really good job. Also, I know he tends to be more bearish on his bullish assumptions. So that was really fun to see and hear. I think he nailed it immediately. He saw the deceleration on the government side.
Yeah.
He saw the ROW weakness. So he nailed everything perfectly. Some people got triggered by that, but
But before we get into earnings, how do you feel about I made this point that I think our community of Palantir covered earnings way more spectacularly, if that's a word, than a lot of other companies. How do you feel about like the community just being super hyped?
no, I don't agree with this. Bro, did you see how Rob covers Tesla earnings?
No, Tesla's above us, but I think every other stock.
Bro, Rob does pre-earnings breakdowns, some of the best financial modeling I've seen in my life, bro. I don't know how he does this. His modeling is like almost as good as Justin's.
I
Justin is
think
better, by the way.
we need a modeler like that for Palantir. I don't think we have that type of person yet.
Bro, as soon as I can get Justin to invest, and Justin is a better modeler than Rob. I think Rob is phenomenal, but Justin's like, I think he's one of the best ever at this. You haven't like the speed at which he does these things. It's like watching LeBron fucking play, bro. It's insane.
Yeah,
He
but
does this like crazy models. Anyways, so not if Tesla because of Rob mainly. Uh, Rob does really nice modeling, and Steven he does really nice like color commentary. So their earnings
I'm just
coverage
saying
is
for
phenomenal.
5,000 people to show up at 7 a.m. in the morning, like that's kind of crazy. I
Yeah.
don't think that's happening for a lot of other companies.
Well,
Like,
that's partly because there's a big retail participation in Palantir. The 65% retail holding.
yes,
So we have a big community. I think for the most part, what I was actually surprised about is the lack of toxicity. I thought there's going to be a lot of haters, bro. Was going to come in and be like there to hate, but we didn't have any almost. Um, Also, like I kind of feed into the meme. I miss them when they don't come. You remember my tweet? Where do you see Palantir in the year? And I said in the sewer.
yeah, I'm starting to just agree with them, bro. They were like, this stock is going to zero. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I can't wait till it does. It's just like I don't know. There's no point in fighting.
Nobody knows, bro. Nobody knows. At the end of the day, it's trendy now. You remember how it was trendy to say value investing is dead
Yep.
a year ago? Now the trendy thing is to say, well, growth investing is dead. 99% of these people in the comments, even some YouTubers, not all of them, they just parrot whatever they hear on CNBC, and they just parroting this narrative. They don't even understand it most of the time.
Why do you?
Especially not itchy, scratchy, and horny on their fucking irrelevant channel, bro.
Yeah, hold on,
With
hold
their
on.
fucking,
Let's talk a little about that. You got into a little beef with them before Palantir earnings.
I,
What
yeah,
inspired you to make a video, kind of responding to them?
yeah, because whenever like a wedding photographer and a trust fund kid try to pretend they're value investors and criticize me, I find it amusing, bro.
Ah,
Bro, you creating a startup that actually creates value. What if I told you, hey, you can make more money by selling a stock screener that people can get for free for $30 a month? It's like you know what I think of them? It's like you can either open up a Gordon Ramsay level of restaurant and work your butt off and get like 2 Michelin stars and make it like crazy. You can probably make more money just opening a falafel stand and selling fucking falafel, bro. They're a falafel stand and not a very good one. So I don't have respect for them. I don't have any love for them. I think they're fucking ridiculous cosplaying fucking idiots. And their group dynamic is actually cringy as fuck. Like these three grown men and two grown men basically grovel. It's like it's just fucking it's horrifying to watch.
well, they what was I about to say? They look really good right now, though. Now that everything's crashed, right?
Yeah, it's trendy. So the trend is their friend. That's fine. But at the end of the day, they pretend to be It's like where the actual problem is they pretend to be on the far end of the spectrum. If you have like growth versus value, so they pretend ultra value. That's what they're aiming at.
Yeah.
So if you claim to be that, which I don't think they are, because again, it's a wedding photographer and a guy who got all his money from his dad, and he bought a bunch of gyms and limo companies and gas stations, and now in some real estate, and he thinks he's all that. But if you pretend to be that, why would you even analyze high growth companies? It's not even on your radar. Like your methodology as a hyper value investor would never allow you to invest in a growth company. Why would you analyze and show these analysis on your channel if you know the result was going to be, hey, I can't touch this because it doesn't fit my. The only reason would be to clickbait and hype, which is like why they cloud chase all the time. The problem with their so-called analysis, I haven't seen one yet. All I see is this fucking eight-stage stock screener. I've never seen them analyze a stock from A to Z, like business model, DCF, actual modeling, actual analysis.
One of the other things is they do like 17 different stock reviews a day. Like people are like, why do you only make Palantir videos? It's like,
it's
well, okay,
diarrhea, bro. I call them, they're a content diarrhea channel. Like stocks, 15,000 stocks a day, bro. We're value investors. Look at this chart. The technical trade. What the fuck is it? What the hell? Why do we have this confused looking motherfucker showing me charts? It's the value investing channel, isn't it? And then this wedding photographer fucking fondling his mic. Bro, lay off your fucking mic, motherfucker, bro. What's wrong with you, Pavlovian piece of shit, bro? He's like, it's like this. It's a penile fucking obsession with the mic, bro. Let go. And then you have this other motherfucker, like a what's his name? Gilbert Gottfried / Saddam Hussein lookalike motherfucker, bro. Like screaming at the world, like what the fuck? Like this channel is fucking hilarious. My friends from the industry, I kid you not, thought that this was a parody channel when I showed them this. I kid you not. I'm not trying to take shots at them. They thought it was a parody channel.
Shots. So
what?
I said you definitely just took some shots at them saying he has a
bro. It turns out to be a parody.
What makes you so angry when you watch their content?
No, it makes me. I'm mainly confused when I see them. It's like, what the fuck is this? It's like, on the one hand, I'm grossed out by their dynamic. You have these two grown men groveling to a third guy. On the other hand, you have this guy who's really like abrasive for no reason. They have no background, no understanding, no analysis offered. It's a fucking infomercial. Every video, and there's like diarrhea of content every day. They make more videos than Kevin. 15 stocks a day, bro. Like, and they're looking at stocks that they should not be looking at as value investors. What the fuck are you looking at? High growth stocks. Like, if you're a value investor, fucking analyze fucking, stocks nobody gives a shit about. Like, let's talk about Dairy Queen and Coca-Cola and PepsiCo. You won't because it won't get views. So you analyze this fucking popular shit to get views. They're a fucking clickbait factory, bro.
That's my thing.
They have good production. They have good production value. I'll give him that.
That's my thing. I'm like, I talk a lot about Palantir, but at least when you say they don't do a stock analysis, I'm like, I can analyze Palantir from the numbers, the growth, all that stuff. I don't think they can analyze any or a lot of things because it's just 17 videos a day.
Bro, they can't analyze my farts. They have no skills, no modeling, no analysis skills, no understanding. They can fucking, they're going like a robotic analysis of a stock screener. I can hire a fucking guy on Fiverr to do this and do a channel and do 15 of these per day. Like literally a bot can replace these guys, bro.
Yeah, that's where the personality comes in, right? That's where they try to get people.
Bro, I have more personality in my fucking shoe than all of these guys combined. They're fucking trash.
Okay. Well, you got your thoughts out here, and we can hear people in the
now tell us what you really think.
Yeah, I mean, I did a video on them a while back because when I first encountered their content, I was infatuated with it. It was like really interesting, and then I realized
the production quality is really good.
That, and then at the end of every 3 minutes, like, well, tell us about how you can get this software. It's like the thing that confuses me. If they're seeing this, please answer this because I want to know how.
You know what it feels like, Amit? It's like one guy cues. tell me more about this amazing software. Sure, sis, whatever the fuck their name is, I don't remember. It's like, sure, Saddam Hussein lookalike. Here's this, like what the hell is this, bro? It's an infomercial.
Like the guy was like, we created this software for our users because they kept asking. I'm like, what users? Users have to use a product. You mean viewers? And then what viewers? Like, we created this product for our users. What users are you talking about? Where did they come from? And why did they ask you for this product when you didn't have a
before you even had any? Yeah, exactly. It's fake, bro. It's a fucking Excel spreadsheet. It's probably cost them $5,000 to make one.
Well, they said they spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on a.
Well, they either got fleeced heavily, and you should know this as some guy with actual development background, and they either got fleeced or let's put it mildly, they're grossly exaggerating the cost of, because the thing is like fucking ridiculously low level execution. It's an Excel spreadsheet, bro.
Yeah. Well,
I had a fart the other day that had more sophistication than the fucking Excel, bro. It's just fucking ridiculous. In fact, my fart can analyze stocks better than this Excel, bro.
Yeah, if you fart, then you can know if a stock is good or bad, if it stinks or not. But every stock. The other thing is every stock to them sucks. I'm just like, what type of like?
No, it's a that's how they get clout. So they're value investors only looking at growth stocks to get the hype. Right. They want people to get triggered. Yeah. And now that kind of the market is reversing, and you have the microeconomic stuff, the war. So all of a sudden they look like these geniuses.
Yo, I want to get your thoughts on this. Strongman Personal Finance.
I love him.
I love him too, by the way. I think he's gonna.
I was on his podcast yesterday.
Okay, so we'll talk about that. I saw some comments in his live chat about the Amit Kukreja guy. So I think
he calls you Amit Spin.
Wait, really? He knows me?
Yeah. That's so cool. Yeah. Amit Spin. He calls. I DM'd him yesterday and I said Amit will be proud. He's now on your list.
So my question is, eventually I think it will not be trendy anymore to just like make videos about, because so he here's how he's growing his channel, which is quite brilliant, to be honest.
Yeah.
You Google Meet Kevin, a video of Meet Kevin comes up wearing a clown face. You're gonna click on that, and it's not, of course, channel, it's Strongman, right? So he's playing on top of high people's names in the search to get views. Do you think that ever ends at one point? And then what does the growth of his channel look like at that point?
He's actually a smart guy. Like, unlike the itchy, scratchy, and horny, he actually knows this shit. So he knows taxes, he knows investing, he has a background in numbers. So if you go to his earlier videos before he started growing through like the comedy part, he's a smart dude. Eventually he'll have to pivot. By that time he'll have an audience, and some of them will pivot with him.
But the pivot would be analyzing, like hating on growth stocks. Like, would it be an everything money channel?
Yeah, maybe just economics, macro. I don't think maybe just stuff like that. Who knows at this point?
Because he does hate growth stocks. I mean, he hates Palantir. He's very explicit about that. So
he doesn't really hate Palantir. He just in general he feels like index investing is more efficient than individual stock picking.
Make content on that, right? Like that's the thing. It's like how many videos?
Yeah, they don't understand this principle. But I think. Yeah, maybe analyzing different indexes. I don't know. Indices, sorry, I'm Russian. Economics, maybe more comedy. I mean, he's really funny. When you see him first, it's like whiskey. The first time you taste it, it's so bitter, and you can't. But like you get used to the taste, and then you crave it. You're like, you know what I mean? It's an acquired taste.
How did you think he did on the Meet Kevin interview? Because to be honest,
good.
No, I don't think he did good. I think he.
Why?
I think he shied away from his whole personality when Meet Kevin came on.
No, but that was intentional. He told me he'll do it on purpose. I think what you need to be looking at is what questions he asked.
He didn't ask a tough question at all.
Why? Did you watch the interview?
Yeah, I watched I don't think he pushed back at all. Or I think Kevin was so good at answering that he wasn't able to push back at all.
Well, listen, when you have somebody on, you can go either.
You treat them with respect, all that stuff, but you also have to challenge. I don't think there were any challenges.
I was watching it and I felt like he did ask good questions. I did not expect Kevin to be 100% transparent on the answers because he's a really good talker. And like when you're not experienced as an interviewer, it's tough to call it out live. It's you have to give him a break, bro.
Yes.
But the thing is, you can go CoffeeZilla on him. Like Coffee did it before. That's why he's not doing any more interviews. Nobody will come. You saw how CoffeeZilla destroyed people in interviews? He
Yeah.
demolished some of these guys. Some of them he made quit. You remember that kid? I forgot his name. There was a kid. He destroyed his career, bro. The 17, 18-year-old kid who was like claiming he's a multi-billionaire. I forgot his name.
I remember watching it a year ago or two.
Caleb Maddox.
Ah,
He made him quit YouTube, bro. It was brutal. So you can do that, but nobody will ever come. Who will come into a slaughterhouse?
right.
He can't do it because so he has to be nice. Plus, I mean, if somebody's coming onto your show, you can't fucking say, "Oh, you're a piece of shit." Okay.
I didn't expect him to say that, but I did.
No,
expect
but what kind of dynamic? Also,
Palantir.
it will. Yeah, true. But like, answer me this: what kind of dynamic you'll have once you said this in the interview? It's gonna be fucking weird.
Yeah, I agree. You don't say that, but you challenge. You go like Barbara Walters on it. I don't think he was ready to go Barbara Walters, but you know.
What did you think about my interview with Kevin?
I thought it was good, but I think you needed to push back when Kevin said, I don't want a recession to happen. Because if you've seen any of his last videos, he desperately wants it to happen. And I can't blame him because he spent like 17 billion hours researching, trying to connect the dots to prove there will be a recession. So when he says, oh, YouTube ad revenue will suck if I get a recession.
No, he said core sales will go away. YouTube will go, discretionary spending will go away. He's right.
But I think Kevin is one of those egotistic people that I say that positively. He wants to be right. He would not be putting all this time in research if he want to be right. And he has enough money to go a couple years without the best ad revenue in the world, in my opinion.
Wait, let me ask you a question.
And he's not in the market, so he wouldn't even have any losses either. So
no, that's true. But like, how many recessions have you lived through as an adult?
Just 2020, the pandemic. That's it.
Okay, that's not a recession. That's a blimp in the radar.
Yeah.
So 2000, I was a kid, so I can't count it. 2008, I was working in the industry already. So I remember exactly how 2008 looked like. 2008 was not as bad as the dot-com bubble, but it depends on who you ask, which industry, but it was pretty horrific. When you have that kind of a recession, it kills everything, bro. It's like a fucking forest fire. It consumes and destroys everything. Nobody gets out okay with this. So I know, even though he's young, for me, it resonated because I know if a recession actually happens, we're all fucking fucked. It's not about like, okay, so he has money, but you think he wants to stop fucking getting ad money from YouTube and course sales, and because that will all go away. Like in 2008, people will just fucking, you shut down. You don't even buy coffee, bro, outside. You fucking make coffee in the house. Like every discretionary spending goes to zero.
For a recession to happen, I was watching a video that says we need to get down to like 12 or 14,000 on the NASDAQ. How likely do you think that is for a real 30% drop to happen? Because right now we've only had about 15%.
Who knows, bro? It's like Yogi Berra once said, it's really tough to predict, especially the future. So it's very hard, bro. Who knows? There's definitely a pullback coming. I said this multiple times. I think that we are like, once this whole Ukraine-Russia things clears up, because it's pushing the market down, there's going to be a bounce. And since the Fed ain't about to do nothing about it, as you just saw from the latest minutes, so we're going to have a bull run, I think. But
go ahead. You got it.
Yeah, but it will have to end because it's not like inflation is going anywhere. So at some point it will have to. I think we're in the beginning phases of a new bubble that's going to be created after this crisis goes away because of how cheap everything is and how cheap money is. And then basically it will pop once inflation catches up with it.
Why did you buy? Let's talk to Palantir because I have some Twitter questions from people that want to ask questions.
Ask me Twitter questions.
So first off, why did you buy $85,000 of Palantir?
Okay.
On earnings day. Okay.
So I'll give you a trivia. Let's see how in love you are with Palantir, even though you should not be. They say you should not be emotional. Yeah, what's the revenue? Palantir, don't check. You like my candy?
Is that the sour straws? Is that the pixie, right? The sugar?
No, yeah. This is another hint for you.
So figure out where the fuck Tom lives.
Nobody knows. I'm in a bunker, bro. Like one day I will show it. There's a bunker in the middle. It's self-sustainable. Nobody knows where it is. Nobody even sees me.
Russia's about a nuke, right? So you're getting in the bunker.
I don't mind. I'm in my bunker, bro. Everything is Gucci. You know, like how funny it is. People buy these. I'm not in the bunker, by the way. It was a joke. But like people buy these bunkers and they put so much money into it. All I have to do to smoke you out is to come in and put my hand on your vent. you no air. You have to come out. I mean, it's like it's the perfect meme. You know what I mean? All of this money, you need air, motherfucker. Where's this air gonna be coming from, bro? All I need is just to fucking put my hand on it, and you have to come out. Anyways, so back on the serious note, Palantir 85 grand. So how much was the revenue for 2019? Annual revenue for 2019 Palantir? Most people don't know this. It was a long, long time ago. You were not even legal to drink beer.
270 million?
750 million. Okay.
Oh, that was the
Okay.
quarter of 2019.
Yeah. So, okay. So we have 750 million to 1.55 billion in 2 years. Okay. So let's do it like the fucking itchy, scratchy, and horny. Check. Right? Revenue growth. Check. Okay. Massive revenue growth.
Yo, can we buy their software right now and do this?
Let's buy it and review it right now on
Buy
air,
and
bro.
do it right now.
It's like I feel like buying their software is like literally like lighting money on fire, bro. Okay, let's move on.
You know, I real quick, I came across a platform today that uses AI to predict when the stock price will fall. And that's crazy, but I'm like, if that works, that's something you should pay for.
People
Like,
try this so much, it's nonsense.
But if it
In
works,
Russia-
that's something that's worth $30 a month. Like, that's real.
In Russia, there's a word for this. It's called бред. I don't know how to translate it. It's basically like saying nonsense. Anyways, listen. So somebody told me, hey, Tom, you should not be throwing around these. I'm Russian these days because of what's going on in Russia and Ukraine. So first of all, I was actually born in Ukraine. So I'm not like whatever. So you know what I replied to him? And I fucking, I'm pro Ukraine and everything. So you know what? He like, you should be flaunting the fact you're Russian. I said, kiss my Russian ass. On Twitter, bro. Anyways, so growth check, right? So, okay, now government growth 47%, commercial growth 34%. You know these numbers. You know them in your sleep, right? So we have mid 30s to low 40s growth across all sectors. That's startup level numbers as growth. Okay, so it's high growth. Nice. Okay. Now then I look at, okay, what's the operating margin on the business? And that's where a lot of people they get confused because they don't understand finance. The operating margin for Palantir is 29 cents on the dollar. Palantir is earning 29 cents on the dollar. So out of 1.55 billion of revenue, Palantir profited operationally $424 million. Okay. It's in their bank. It's free cash flow from operations. So I'm saying, okay, 29% operating margin, free cash flow, nice. Okay, high profit, high margin, high growth. By the way, when people look at this, they say, well, Tom, they're not GAAP profitable. Most of them don't even know what GAAP fucking means, bro. It's generally accepted accounting principles. They don't even know what IFRS means, what GAAP means. They don't know jack shit. Just to let you bozos know, for those of you who are about to comment this in the comment section, GAAP profitability means jack shit. That's why Wall Street never looks at EPS, because GAAP losses it's a good thing. When you have free cash flow profitability and GAAP losses, it's kind of the best of both worlds. You know why?
Why?
Well, I'll explain. Because when you have actual profitability, which means you're getting cash flow, but you're getting GAAP losses, you're getting money in the bank, but you're getting a tax credit because you're creating tax losses. So basically, Palantir is getting a tax credit for massive losses for tax purposes, and yet they just earned 424 million. It's a cheat code.
But so real quick, but the 424 million, is that actually in the bank, or does the stock?
Yes, it's free cash flow. Free cash flow.
Factor into that.
Okay, so what lowers the operating margin from 29% to negative 14% for GAAP purposes, which again is just fucking tax.
Yes.
What lowers it is stock-based comp.
Yes.
Stock-based comp is exclusively the sole cause of this. The reason is because when you give away options, the IRS is telling you, hey, we know this is not actually an expense for you. It doesn't cost you anything, but we are willing to give you a tax benefit for the company for accounting and tax purposes to view this as an expense, as a deductible, just to help you out. So basically, they're giving away options, and the government is letting them use this as a deduction. Unfortunately, and that's why I say unfortunately, this thing is ending very soon.
Right.
So if you look at the operating margin for Gap, it started as negative 49 and now it's negative 14. So basically, as they're stopping the SBC and stopping dilution, so the operating margin on Gap level is catching up with the adjusted one. So it's gonna catch up in this. But when people say Palantir is not a profitable company, you're an idiot, bro. It makes 30%. Show me a company that makes in the bank. It's money in the bank, zero debt, 3 times more assets and liabilities, no goodwill. They're growing at 41% per year, and basically making 30 cents on the dollar in operating margin. And they have a crazy moat, sticky clients. Like show me how many clients like this, companies like this can you find? Google would be one, Tesla would be one, but there's not a lot of these sort of companies out there, bro. It's just kind of a no-brainer for me. I know, even looking at the way their clients are structured, bro, like some of these bozos, they don't even know what net retention is.
Yeah.
Like I learned because
you're. I was like, oh, net dollar retention. I learned what it is.
Yeah, but you know this because you have a startup. By the way, shout out to your startup.
No one knows it yet. Don't worry. Well,
everybody will know it. But net retention is important. So they have 150% net retention in the US, 132% growth on the commercial side in the US. I mean,
can you speak to the government slowdown? So let's factor in the cathie stuff.
Definitely.
Did you see the newsletter stuff she put out today?
Yeah. I made the video about this.
Oh, you did. Oh, my video's coming out tomorrow. So they said.
Didn't you see mine yesterday? Well, actually today earlier.
No, why I saw.
Why cathie would sold?
I didn't watch.
Okay, so I'll give you kind of the skinny version of why.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I saw the newsletter. So you were going to point out the government side?
Yeah, basically they said government deacceleration is significant. That's the word they used. And I'm
what
like,
do you think about this?
So you liquidated half of your position because of the government. Like it blew my mind. I didn't get it.
So there's no need for me to explain my video. You basically just verbatim said what I said in my video. I basically said, did you invest for the government business? What?
Bro, I don't get what's going on, right? Like I'm genuinely confused. 11 million shares because the government revenue that increased, but they just didn't get new clients because they tripled their commercial clients. And you liquidate half after buying 6 million shares at $17 in January. It makes zero to buy advertising. You know why I say advertising? Because Roku's moat is they will be the biggest TV advertiser. So she's giving up AI and machine learning for advertising. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
I don't know what's going on. Maybe she needs the cash.
That's a possibility, but then she's putting it into Roku, right? She's not holding on.
Maybe she changed her perception about. Maybe she just decided like to meet Kevin, and hunch it out. You know what I mean? Because the fundamentals are getting better, but maybe she has a hunch.
Okay. Did you know? So I came across this today. Did you know she's a devout Christian?
Yeah, I knew this.
I did not know this. There is a podcast where they're talking about her faith. Like she's devout Christian.
Yes, I knew this.
Someone in my group chat, they said, well, as soon as Karp dropped that F-bomb, he dropped 11 million shares of Palantir.
No, bro, come on.
Yo, that's the reason, bro. We're overanalyzing it. He said the F word. She was like, I cannot have this in my fund anymore. I can have DraftKings. I can have gambling, but every religion says gambling is immoral. But I can't have the F word. I feel like that's what happened.
I don't think so, bro. There's no way.
Why else would she sell them? It makes no sense. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Maybe it was an accident. Maybe she wanted to buy and she accidentally pressed the sell button. You never know. Maybe it was the cleaning lady in the office and she cleaned the keyboard and she sold. You can always blame the intern.
Okay, so can you speak to why the government growth slowed down doesn't?
So we agree on Cathie. There's no need to go over my video.
Yeah.
Do you like my new thumbnails, by the way?
Yes. Shout out to his thumbnails. Tom pays $17,500 per thumbnail. Really, look really legit to me.
Did you like my one with the Palantir one?
Let's
God make it stop, like in the background, and then Alex Carver is like, I put in a frown face inside the Palantir logo.
I remember that one, but let's pull it up. Look, you can see. Look, he's on my recommended. There he is, right there.
It's proof, bro.
He's there.
Oh, come on, bro.
Is that the one?
Drop, yeah, make it stop.
This one?
Yeah. Oh, the timestamp is yeah, okay. Yeah, that's the one. Drop it like a stone. I should have changed the thumbnail and drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it should have been that.
Oh, you hit
Like
280. You hit 280. You're at 279.
oh yeah, I don't check these daily, bro. To be honest,
You're lying.
I kid you not.
I check my shit like every 30 minutes. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I don't check. What's the point? It's like it's obsessing over nonsense. I like that Alex Carp thumbnail with the Colombian drug lord
Oh, this one,
like a
yeah,
boss.
this is good. I remember as
This is yeah, that was a good thumbnail, bro.
you also have these
Struck
you also have these new intros as well.
with the Tom Cash one. Oh, you don't have it on this video. It's on the phone.
Yeah, let's look at the intro.
No, let's not watch my own videos. It's cringe, bro.
Yeah, I know. That's why it'll be fun.
I can't do it, bro. The production quality is good. It's getting better. I'm almost at the level of Everything Money.
In just a second.
This is cool. I like the ticker at the bottom. That's cool. If that updates with like every week, that's cool.
No, it doesn't. I should like poke fun at people there. Anyways, so let's talk about government slowdown because it's important. So I spoke yesterday to Alex, not Carp, from ticker symbol U.
Okay.
And he told me he has a very interesting theory. I didn't think about this. And shout out to you, Alex, if you're watching this.
Shout out to Alex, dope channel.
Yeah, he's a dope channel for sure.
Amazing channel.
So he said, hey, Tom, have you considered the fact that governments have their annual year start on October? And then if there's a 90-day lead time to close new services, new deals, that would mean it would be front-loaded for the beginning of the year for government contractors. And there's going to be like a built-in slowdown. I don't know if there's a seasonality there. I think Alex Karp talked about this in the call because he said there's a lumpiness.
Yeah.
Now you understand. When he says things, most people don't understand what he's talking about. But like, I think this is the lumpiness he was talking about. The government, it comes in cycles.
But why would that justify not having any new clients since last year? Because it stayed at 90 to 90.
Yeah, there's a glass ceiling there, bro. It's a government side has limited TAM. That's why they're let's give people some background. So government growth slowdown is more than significant. So first quarter, they grew government business by 76%. By the way, fourth quarter of previous year, it was 85. So if you take that into context, so 85, 76, 66, 34, 26. So clearly you can see like it's dropping, like my grandpa after New Year's, it's dropping like a stone, bro. So why is it decelerating? It's still growing, but at a much slower pace. Number one, as we mentioned earlier, seasonality might be one, but let's see. I think
I have a reason for it that's pretty simple. They just want to focus on commercial. Like they have a very small sales force. They focus on commercial over government.
I don't think it's even about them wanting it, more or less. It's the fact that how many government targets are there for them to conquer, bro? How many governmental agencies in the US and West Europe do they have to go after? After 17 years, how many of them are left that are not working with Palantir? Very few.
Yeah.
And if they don't, they will never work with them anyways at this point. So it's in the milking cow stage of a company, if you're familiar with the stages. So Gotham is basically that stage where it's just basically a stagnant business. It's making good money, 60% of the revenue, but it's not growing because it's growing, but slowing down because they basically exhausted all the TAM. It's a glass ceiling. That's why we always get so excited about the commercial side, because the TAM there is literally unlimited. But
that was my point. It's like, so they're just focusing on commercial. So why is she selling 11 million? Like, and why are people upset? Like, what people on Twitter were like, we're upset about the government. I'm like, wasn't the narrative they had too much concentration in the government, and now
we both said this, like we want to see more we want to see commercial catch up with government on the split on the revenues.
We want to see it outpace government, and now
slow down, cowboy, because it takes some time. But I mean, yes, eventually, yes.
Right.
But look at the commercial side, 19, right? 26, 35, 47. It's literally opposite than the government. It's going up. It's doubling more than doubling from 19% first quarter growth to 40. So it's happening. It's just going to take some time, bro.
So all of this compelled you to pull the trigger at 85,000.
Not the government and the commercial stuff. It's much simpler.
They're
It's
growing.
Great margins, great cash flow, no price sensitivity. Clients were willing to pay almost anything for this. It's a huge advantage. No competitors in sight, at least for the near future.
Is there a world in which Palantir becomes okay, so let me read you this comment on YouTube, and I want to get your thoughts on this. This is a good comment. Amit, here is your problem. I will bet my house on it. Palantir stock price will not get to 25 in the next 10 years. I know you think you don't lose money in investing until you realize you're lost. That is wrong. Your money is wasted, blah, blah. This reminds me of the history of Cisco stock. Cisco hit 69 in 2000. Palantir hit 35 a year ago. He meant to say 45. And 25 years ago, Cisco stock is still struggling to get to that. Remember, Cisco grew 30% per year in early 2000s. Why is Palantir not like Cisco?
Well, that's we just talked about this. Cisco is a B2B business. We talked about this. It's large B2B. Like when you remember when we had this debate and you kind of half not agreed with me why it's important for Palantir to eventually branch out to B2C.
Yeah.
Because you hit a wall with B2B. You can only go so far. So I don't know what Palantir stock is going to do or not do. I think for this guy or girl to make an assumption like this, it's based on what? I don't know. Nobody fucking knows. So he bets it won't. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I think comparing Palantir to Cisco is kind of comparing a car to a potato. You should compare. You should compare it to Amazon or tech. Compare it to companies in tech like Snowflake or whatever. I don't know. Not really like it's not a good comparable. The thing is, I think you have to understand that Palantir is a little bit not in the game. So I'll give you an example. You know, Palantir could have easily pumped the stock price. They could have pumped it easy. You know how? All you do is you don't take an expense on the SBC. Just don't take the expense. Don't claim the deduction. Pay tax, 21% on 424 million. You know what it's going to do to your GAAP profitability?
It's going to make you profitable.
Yeah, and it's poof, we're profitable. And stock price goes through the roof. But you volunteered to pay 21% tax on 424 million.
Yeah, that and this guy Mike on Twitter, he said it's a good argument. He says Cisco was valued at 569 billion in the dot-com bubble. Palantir is 22 billion, so there's growth potential. Palantir and Cisco are not the same tech. Cisco profit margin and operating income are significantly lower. Cisco rev hasn't grown since 2013.
What's the mode for Cisco? They're just a hardware manufacturer, telecom.
Industrial revolution, and Palantir is at the start of it. Like
no, but I mean Cisco is like a hardware telecom, right? It's telecom. It's not. It's commoditized.
Yeah,
their business is commoditized. It's switchboards and phones and telecom and infrastructure. It's all commoditized. There's no innovation there at all.
Okay, let's get to some Twitter questions. These are people I said specifically questions for Tom. So, how does the stock price crash affect employee morale, given your financial analyst history? How do you think employees are feeling in the company? And will more stock be issued to these employees because they're feeling so bad about the stock price?
No, there's gonna be zero correlation between the performance of the stock and any stock-based comp issuance.
Okay,
I can guarantee you that. However, how do they feel? They feel nothing. When you're getting stock-based comp, and you know this because you have a startup, that shit is worthless.
Yep.
It's vesting over 5-6 years. Yep. You can't even touch it. You don't care about the price action right now because it's not even liquid. You can't even buy the fucking shit. You have to stay and work through the duration. So,
and the mentality of people in Palantir should feel like they're at a startup because they're putting up startup numbers in terms of growth.
That's the problem with Palantir. Confuses a lot of people. The legal entity is 17 years old.
Yeah.
Or it's a 17-year-old. There's two companies inside one.
On my Twitter, at least 7 times.
They need to spin off Foundry. I'm telling you this. They will solve a lot of.
Said this last night that they should separate government and Foundry.
They need to spin it off because they're completely different. One is in later stages, it's on stagnation. The other one is a hyper growth company. Their stock-based comp has nothing to do with Gotham. They need to spin it off. What's the problem? There's
I'm putting a video about
the-
that tomorrow with Chris and what he said. Yeah.
create a holding company, and the holding company should hold Foundry and Gotham separately, and let them do their own thing because both of them have their own merits. It's going to be easier for them to. Well, they might claim that operationally they do share resources and it might not be as efficient, but you can still do it with separate legal entities when you charge back each other, on a cost plus basis.
Okay. Next question. Ask him about what Kevin says about the debt, that it doesn't matter if you raise rates because there are 2, 5, 10, 30-year bonds and not all get affected by rates.
No, it's a mistake. No hate for Kevin, but the majority of the US debt is actually in variables. It's in short-term debt. That's one of the solutions I said that needs to happen. If you want to be able to raise interest rates to fight inflation, you have to fix the US debt problem because you can't service the debt if you raise interest. Even a little bit. Every 1 percentage point of interest is costing you $270 billion of extra debt service.
But we're never going to pay back the debt.
So no. It's not about paying back the debt. No. I'll explain. You're right. But that's not the purpose of this. So how do you fix the debt problem? So right now, the US is its highest ever, 100% of GDP. That's our debt right now. Okay. It's insane. We've never had that. So how do you fix this problem? Because right now, if you raise interest rates, you need to come up with 270 billion for every 1 percentage point of interest. So let's say you raise 2%, or let's say you raise 10%. It's 2.7 trillion. Where do you come up with this money? You have to print it. You cause more inflation. You're in a vicious cycle. And the people who say, oh, the government is going to bankrupt. No, motherfucker, the government can't fucking bankrupt. It doesn't work like this. They think it's like the grocery store. They don't understand fucking government budgets. Anyways, so how do you fix this? 2 solutions. One, you can outgrow the debt. Basically, you can create massive GDP and increase your tax collections and thereby create this cash flow to pay for the extra interest. Okay. To do that, you'll need to do everything that this government can't do, which is lower taxes and deregulate everything. Basically, let the market go fucking bananas. They did this in the 80s with Reagan and it worked for them. Paul Volcker raised interest rates. I'm sure you have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. Not the actor from the Fast and the Furious.
You explained.
Yeah. Okay, we're talking about. So yeah, so they did. So the other solution, which is what he was kind of jumbling about, he was mixing up the solution with the problem. The other solution is basically saying, well, the majority of our debt right now is in cheap interest because it's on short term. Let's move everything to fixed. If you go to the bank right now, Amit, and you say, hey, I want a mortgage and I want it all 100% fixed interest, they're going to fuck you with crazy interest. Mm-hmm. The way you do it, you mix it up. You take a little bit of a fixed, a little bit of a variable, and then on the variable, you get better percentage. So the US government can say, hey, we're going to take the bullet on the long term. All our debt goes to 30-year. And that way, we're going to bite the bullet right now. We're going to come up with like $400 or $500 billion. But then we become basically indifferent to interest rates because we're fixed. So we don't care anymore. You can raise to 10, 15%, but don't give a shit. Mm. So but right now, what his question is missing is that we're at the stage where the vast majority of US debt is in actual variables, short terms. They need to roll it over to the 30-year.
So what do you think the government's going to do to get out of this? Like, how do we solve this?
Well, they have to, I don't know, but it's either that or the other. Or just do nothing and cause hyperinflation.
So will the 1 or 7 interest rate hikes do anything in your opinion that they're planning this year?
No, it's fucking aspirin for a bullet wound.
So why buy $85,000 of Palantir then? Like what? Like how do you think?
That's exactly. Well, first of all, buying Palantir has nothing to do with short-term inflationary pressures. Inflation is a 1-2 year problem. Eventually, I don't think it persists beyond that because inflation is right. What's causing inflation? What's causing inflation is the M2. Yeah. Money supply has been off the walls. You have to, it's like you ate a big meal. You ate a whole fucking tray of pizza. Until you shit it out, you're going to feel like a lump of fat. So we have to shit out this 5.5 trillion we put into the system. It's going to take a couple of years. And when it happens, it's going to mellow down again. So Palantir has nothing to do with this. I don't give a shit. Why do I think the market will run up? Is precisely because the Fed can't raise interest rates. They're stuck. Until the government does something, they're just stuck pretending as if they don't have to raise interest rates. They're bluffing. They can't. And it's going to keep money free, keep people happy. And eventually, once the Putin thing goes away, it's going to run up, I think.
Okay. Ask him why he says that the low institutional investor percentage is a problem for volatility if we know they are the first ones to sell using algo a few seconds after the financials are out.
Because institutionals would not sell on EPS misses. They know it's garbage.
So why do algorithms sell on EPS? Who are these algorithms trading for if it's not institutions? These EPS things.
Well, there's a lot of algorithmic trading in the retail investors as well, but the majority of Palantir's crash is actually coming from retail investors seeing miss, boom, sell. Like when I talk to these guys, they don't even know what's the revenues. They don't know the numbers. They just say, oh, it's an abysmal. But even Benzinga put out an article, abysmal Q4 results by Palantir, abysmal.
Yeah, and retail people read that. Institutions don't.
They read that and it's like abysmal. And then you have the talking heads on CNBC. It's a big EPS miss. Like, come on, dude.
Okay, this is a little hard one for you. Question for Mr. Nash with the S symbol. Money symbol. Your Paliton, Paliton advice was wrong, which you admitted. So why should anyone trust you over Meet Kevin when it comes to stock picks? Is Palantir any different than Paliton?
I have a simple answer for him. Don't trust me, bro. Problem solved. Don't listen to me. There's plenty of other people out there. Go listen to them. No problem.
Okay.
I made a fucking post saying Peloton was a bad pick. You think that makes me not interesting? Just don't watch my stuff, bro. It's entertaining YouTube video.
Yeah,
watch others.
And this is a really important point to think about. You know how we see Jim Cramer and like videos from him from like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and he's just contradicting himself all the time. Yeah. I think one of the reasons why it's not even his fault. He's in the media business and he has to be on TV 17 hours a day talking about every stock so that there's content for everybody. Of course he's going to contradict himself. So like, you can't get mad at a YouTuber who makes one or thing bad and then they admit it.
No, but Peloton wasn't contradiction. It was just bad analysis.
Right.
It's even worse. It's worse. I would rather have contradictory statements than bad analysis. Peloton was just bad analysis on my end. It's just negligent.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, you know, if you're making content online, you're going to have some bad picks. And if you're doing
this was my hardcore underlying assumption was wrong about Peloton fitness from home. It was a
I just
bad assumption.
I sold Facebook for Palantir, so like I felt the heat as well. I don't know if Facebook's gonna be wrong, but I don't know if they're getting $250 billion market cap.
Well, Facebook is cheap as fuck right now, and they have a good business.
I'm starting to doubt the narrative a lot. I'm like, I don't think that's real either. So
okay.
His thoughts on Palantir's possibility of winning the FDIC competition and what it would mean for the company and institutional investors.
Don't care. I don't invest based on individual contracts. Who gives a shit? I don't care. I don't care. Okay. And then what? And then how they changes the fundamentals? How does one contract change or one way or the other what we're talking about? It's a 10-year investment, bro. I don't give a shit. They'll win a few contracts. They'll get screwed on other contracts. Some clients leave. Some clients stay. At the end of the day, what you care about is net retention. You only find out at the end of the year. Obviously, it's going to help. But it's not like I'm sitting here refreshing, waiting for this to come out. I don't give a shit, bro.
Okay, I think we kind of answered this, but ask him about what he thinks of Palantir lowering operating margin guidance and when SBC will really slow down.
Yeah, first of all, SBC is already slowing down. Their dilution in the last quarter was 2.5%. They went from 1.96 billion shares to 2.01 billion shares. So their dilution is massively decreasing. On the year, they still had 14% dilution, but last quarter is 2.5%. So you can see the decline. The reason, by the way, the operating margin guidance lowering is like from 29 to 27%. So let's all relax. It's not drastic. The 2% I think has to do with them hiring a lot of salespeople, bro. It bites into your fucking operating margins. If you hire 1,000 salespeople, whatever it is they're hiring, there's a whole sales force being set up, which they did not have. It's a new expense. It's going to lower the margins. However, if you can generate much more revenue, lowering the margin is not a big deal. So the question are, if these salespeople can deliver, then 27 margins is okay for me. No problem.
Okay, pretty cool. So overall, you felt decent with earnings. You didn't feel like it was a bad earnings.
Decent. I'm ecstatic, bro. Where's the problem?
I thought it was phenomenal. I literally used the word phenomenal. I mean,
No, where's the problem with the earnings? The only problem is that people don't understand EPS.
Yeah.
GAAP profitability is a tax concept. It has nothing to do with actual profitability. I don't know how to explain this again to people who refuse to understand this.
Can you explain what earnings per share is? Like, what is the actual term mean?
Yes, it's just for accounting purposes. You either make money or lose money for accounting purposes. It's like when you have accounting profitability has nothing to do with actual profitability. It's how much the government is letting you take deductions from your operational income.
So for every 2 billion shares they had, they made 2 cents versus 4 cents, which is why.
Yes, for GAAP purposes.
Right.
The margin was negative 14% on the GAAP, but the actual margin, the actual business is 29% positive.
Right.
So they're making money, but getting an annual net operating loss deduction for this year, and they can carry it forward for next year's. So they're not going to be paying tax for another 3 or 4 years. It's another 21% of operating margin that they get to keep in their pocket. It's a hack.
Okay. Last question I have.
How do people refuse to understand this? I don't. This is the part that drives me crazy. Like how it's not that complicated, bro.
Well, that's the problem with most of retail, including myself. We don't understand these terms that well, right? So like that's why we get panicked on these misses, as you're saying, when it's not.
Well, you're just playing into the meme. You understand this perfectly, but I understand where you're coming from with this.
Yeah,
you're playing the character of the retail investor.
Right, exactly. I learned a lot about GAAP profitability this weekend, and when I understood that they are getting ready to actually become profitable soon, I was just like, that's when I really saw the on earnings call. I was like, wait a second. This is almost, if this was 30% of 1.5, they would have 500 million in profit. Like this is not bad. And the market cap's at 27 billion. So that's only a 40 times multiple. It's not insane. Okay. Last question.
Their price to sales is 15 or 16. Snowflake is trading at 80. Snowflake is a great company.
Granted, Snowflake is growing more, right?
Their growth is slowing down significantly.
I didn't know that, but yeah.
So they are, but low. Yeah, great.
When people bring up this argument, I'm just saying, okay, they're growing more than Palantir. That's fine. They have a big commercial distribution, but Palantir is going to grow more in the next 2 years. That's just how I feel. So that's
Snowflake is a commodity, bro.
Yeah. I mean, me and CodeStrap talked about it today because Palantir can work with them and Palantir can do stuff that they can't do, which is the AI machine learning operations.
It's a commodity. Everybody needs one. But it's a commodity, and but it's a great company. It's a great company. It's like the Coca-Cola or the Dairy Queen of fucking software. Everybody needs it. It's not expensive. You know what I mean? It's kind of the value stock of the tech world. But I mean, they should not be trading at Palantir at 4 times cheaper than Snowflake, bro.
Yeah, especially when they're growing 41% year-over-year.
And they're profitable. They're profitable. I want people to understand this.
Go check. To mention during this whole thing is the entire market is crashing. And Palantir just happened to release earnings on this. If they released earnings last week, I don't think we would have this type of crash.
But let's be fair. That this would have been. It probably accounts for 5 or 6% of the drop.
Okay, that's fair.
The rest of it is on. It's like I referenced this quote from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I had the meme when Alex Karp calls Peter Thiel. He's like, Peter, look at what God did to us. And Peter's like, it wasn't God, it was you stupid fuck. So the rest of it is them. The rest of it is basically, look, there's a problem with Palantir. Alex Karp is arrogant and is cocky. And if bottom line is, you can't be arrogant and cocky and miss on EPS. There's a problem. You can't, because that people are waiting for you with fucking pitchforks when you're arrogant and cocky. When you say, hey, fuck you, I'm moving to Denver, I'm better than all y'all, and then you miss on EPS, regardless of the rationalization, how we explain it. But I mean, you gotta get sabbed, bro, which is exactly what's going on. Everybody is waiting for this guy in the corner.
Yeah. I agree.
You know this. You can feel like he's an arrogant son of a bitch, bro.
But I liked it. I loved it when he like. I loved it. I'm not a Wall Street analyst, but I as a retail investor, I want that and more from him. That's what I.
How do you feel? How do you evaluate his performance on
I
the
thought it was
call?
phenomenal. I thought it was great. And he went on tangents sometimes when answering questions, but he always brought it back to the heart and the essence of the question. That line where he said, "I'm a retail investor and all my assets are in Palantir."
That was good.
It was good, man. It was better than some of the other
It
calls.
felt real.
It felt real. When he said
Yeah.
when he said he's fucking cool, I was like, yes, that's why I invested in you guys.
How the fuck did what's his name got on the show? I forgot his name. The guy from Palantir.
They just picked his question and he did that. Was so awesome.
He's such a crazy guy, bro. I sometimes watch his shit. I can't decide if he's an idiot or a genius.
Why do you say that?
He's such a. I like him a lot, bro, because like sometimes he'll say shit. It's like, oh, this is really smart, and sometimes he say shit. It's like, this guy's an idiot. But like, I think it's like this. I just enjoy his stuff. I watch his stuff. It's kind of an. How should I? It's easy. He's kind of the Stephen Mark Ryan of the Palantir community. You get where I'm going with this? Like Stephen Mark Ryan always had the conviction, even when everybody was hating, and he was very consistent with it.
Yeah.
So like this guy is like all gaga, like 1 trillion, and like.
Well, the name of his channel is Palantir. That's a
yeah.
That's a good point.
Dude, we need like a solving the money problem kind of channel, bro. And
the other thing is, did you see he dubbed Alex's interview from German to English?
Oh, how? I don't know. I didn't.
You know, Alex put out a new interview, right?
Yeah, in German. I heard it wasn't that good.
I didn't even watch it yet. He read the subtitles and re-recorded the video. So now when you're listening to it, it's like you're listening to an
English wow.
And I was like, this is actually very helpful because I don't feel like staring at the subtitles to know what he said. So I'm gonna listen to his interview later.
He seems like a nice guy.
He's cool. Jay's cool.
We should do something with him. So what did Sachin and Chris Patel thought of the? I haven't seen your stream in the beginning. I was doing mine. What did they think about the earnings?
Chris thought it was good. Sachin thought it was. Yeah, Sachin and Chris thought it was great. I mean, they really didn't have much to complain about. They same thoughts as you. I mean, the government slowdown thing again. That Chris agrees with you 1000% that they should separate Gotham and Foundry. But outside of that, Sachin, like, yeah, I'm just this is fine to me. Sachin talked to over 100.
You guys pulled a lot of views.
Yeah, I think Sachin and Chris's analysis is what pulls a lot of views as well. You know, the crazy thing, bro, is so the stream was supposed to start at 6:50. I told my dad to wake me up early in the morning, and I hadn't slept all week because I had a lot of stuff going on, the startup, all that stuff.
Yeah.
He calls me at 6:45, and I had 17 alarms, and I said, 6:45. Said, "Yo, are you up?" He just randomly called me. And I was like, oh, yeah. 5 minutes, I have to go live. I'm like, shit. So I get ready. I get on the camera. And then I open it. And Sachin's like, there's 150 people waiting. And I'm like, it's 6:49 and 150 people are actually like, I couldn't repeat it. And then within 10 minutes, we had like 500. Then we got to 1,000. And I was like, wow, 1,000 people showed up. That was cool. It was dope.
That's pretty cool, right? It's a hypey feeling.
Yeah, to see them live. I'm live streaming the market, by the way, starting in March every morning. I know you hate that, but I think I can do it. I think it's going to be fun. I think we're going to analyze the news.
Kevin is not doing it anymore.
I think I have.
Kevin is not doing it
in front of the camera for an hour without being boring. That's the main reason. And maybe it'll fail, but like that's the reason I think I can do it. And I want to make it entertaining. I want to make it motivational. I want it to be a good start to the day. I don't want it to be technical all the time. Like we're going to look at some charts, but I don't give a shit about the charts. I care about the news and the headlines and analyzing it in real time and building the community. And I think it could be cool.
I think you should do it. Maybe you take some of Kevin's clout because nobody has been brave enough to jump into this yet.
That's true. That's another reason I'm just like, if I could be.
Nobody's done it yet.
That could be.
It's a dangerous bet. Because you're going to be adding a lot of.
If I don't like it, then I just stop doing it. But I think I can do it.
No, but most strategically, it's adding 1 hour click-through rate to your channel.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not going to get a lot of views. That's the issue. It's only going to get. I think it would max out.
Maybe do it on a separate channel.
No.
Call it like Amit Live.
No, I got to do it on this channel. See, I don't
You're
really
gonna fuck up your CTR
about the click-through rate stuff because Kevin pumps so much content out obviously with bad click-through rates on a lot of videos, and it still grows. Like I feel like YouTube just wants more content. Personally, I think all these platforms, they just want more content.
You know it better than me. I mean, you know algorithms and this shit, so you probably have a good idea.
Well, I've seen it. I've been posting 3 videos a day for like the past 2 months, and I think that's contributed to the growth as well, along with you doing.
You know what? I'm gonna start pumping out content diarrhea like everything money. Here's 500 stocks for you.
Speaking of content, to end this off, my last question. You started this new talk show with Justin.
It's going good.
It's going good. And you basically, for those who don't know it, it is, I'll put it in the description. It's an undisputed / first take, if you've ever been into sports, debate show around stock.
Let me share screen. I'll pull it up to show while we talk. I'll mute it and I'll pull it up.
Yeah, so it was really interesting when you can share screen now. I saw it a couple weeks ago when you tweeted it, and I thought it was interesting because I saw you on a podcast, I think with Cyberfam, saying we have something planned, and I was listening to it in the car, and I was like, I wonder what he has planned. And you were like, it's totally different. No one's seen anything like this on YouTube. And I was like, okay, what is it going to be? And then when you unveiled it, I was like, this is kind of interesting, like a stocks debatey type of show, like 4 or 5 minutes per topic, and it's about 30 minutes, and I thought it was cool. Yeah, there it is.
What do you think about it? Yeah.
I also like the layout as well, because it looks like an actual sports layout with topics on the bottom and top.
So first of all, let me know. I want to let you know a few things. Number one, kudos to Justin for this, because Justin actually has 5 people working on the show.
Yeah, I'd imagine. I feel like it takes a lot of work to get it done.
We have a guy who does all the research. We have me and him. We have one girl who does the editing, one girl who works the switcher for all the graphics, and one more I think works for on the camera side, the B-roll, the screen. The time that goes into it's insane. I don't sleep ever since we did 8 episodes. First episode we got 5,000 views. The latest episode we got 26,000 views. And we just added like 4,000 subscribers to this channel in 2 weeks.
Go ahead. Never mind. Go ahead.
So it's very demanding. So we start working at this on 7 a.m. From 7 a.m. until 2:30, we're basically deciding which segments, how to attack it, who says exactly why. I need help. So I asked the researchers, hey, we're doing this segment. I need statistics about this and this and this. Like I need actual ammunition. We woke up until like 2:30. At 2:30, we tape it. They edit it on their end a little bit, and then they post it at 5 or 6.
What is the long-term vision for this? Because justifying how much hours you're putting in, why are you doing so much work for this?
We're going to take over CNBC, motherfucker. This thing is going to be huge, but it's going to be bigger than my channel. It's going to be bigger than anything you've seen so far. This is like TV, bro. This is not even about YouTube anymore. When people watch our show, they come to hang out and have fun. Like we give them undisputed level or first take level with Max Kellerman. Not this new shit that he has right now. We're giving people entertainment, bro.
Bro, I want to get your take after you explain this around why you thought they got rid of Max. But okay, go ahead, continue.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. If you see the progression of the show, watch the first episode, then watch the latest episode, you see that in 8 shows, we gotten so better, bro, at everything. Like even the dynamic between, it's like, plus I have for us to talk. I think the show is going to be huge, bro. Right now, his channel was basically, he wasn't uploading it. Nothing. Since we started doing the show, it's growing like at 1,000 subscribers per day. It's almost at your pace. But listen, Max Kellerman will have to wait for another day because I have a hard stop. I have a meeting. I was planning to take a shit, but now I can't. I have to do the second meeting. Thank you for this. What a horrifying way to end the stream.
All right, Nash, ladies and gentlemen.
I was just kidding. I'm not in the need to take a shit. It was supposed to be a joke, but I do have a hard stop, literally. Whatever that means.
That's the one thing. That's why I like you on the channel. I can always guarantee you laugh. There's gonna be jokes. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah. At least we didn't do on camera the first joke. Thank God. I would have gotten canceled, bro. Woo. Don't repeat it. Don't repeat it. Don't repeat it, bro. Right. I don't want to be associated with this joke.
So funny.
I know.
It was racist, by the way, for everyone who's watching.
No, it was not racist. I did not make it. God forbid. Anyways, I hope this was as good
Stay
for you
safe
as it
in
was
whatever
for me.
bunker you're located in.
Exactly.
We'll talk later.
Good. It was fun, man. As always.
See you, man. Bye.
Later. I'm hopping off.
All right. Bye.